blood is rushing and I am trusting you'll come save me. My knees are feeling weak. Your body's close to me. I want you to come rescue me. My knees are feeling weak. Your body's close to me. I want you to come rescue me.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mazer. Joining me for this cast is Awesome Sauce, a person we don't see on this channel too often, and we are going into a best of one between a team that I have followed since they were in Open, and that's Team Dyad. I followed their rise through Open into Intermediate, and so far they're 3-0 in the season, versus H2Flow, who have a similar, extremely good record. But as for right now, it looks like Dyad going to be leading the charge and picking the side that they prefer on CT, and that might be a problem for H2Flow, because one thing I've noticed for Dyad, they tend to have incredibly strong CT first halves.
Absolutely, and Mazer, I'm really glad to be here with you tonight. For those of you just tuning in, Awesome Sauce coming at you right now. Dyad, that's Team Dyad, people, not just Dyad, and it's H2Flow. Both from NA. We're going to see Terrain in this best of one. Both 3-0 as well. Both have pretty solid rosters. We'll see what they're going to line up here. And right out of the gate, you can see NyQuil, Mari, and Poison kind of just hanging out over at that B site trying to get some info. Really nothing too intense happening at this moment. The T's taking it slow, Mazer, and it looks like they're going to try to get entry into B.
Maui Snake, though, he can be a huge player when he wants to be, and that's proof of it right there. Tricks, he's going to fall down to Maui's good headshot. Now, of course, the Terrace at a disadvantage. They've given away that little bit of information. The rotation not quite coming in, but definitely starting to lean towards the B side just so they can have that quicker response if need be. But it does look like that H2Flow are looking to commit to that B bomb site. They have a lot of time left to play with, but unfortunately no map control to go back for an A take.
Yeah, nothing quite yet, but the T's down in a 4v5. They're going to have to really think about what they're going to do right now, but right now they're trying to set up for something at B right now. Maui's going to go ahead and have to fire some people off and try to hold them from pushing down straight out of lower. A good shot from Jolt. The bomb is trying to go down here, and it will, just behind Bomb Train, but there's NyQuil with a sick headshot, and now the T's are in a 3v4, and they've got to make a play now.
And as the retake comes in from the counter terrace, so far H2Flow is just not able to match Dyad's aggression. As NyQuil, he will find two, and we've talked about it before. NyQuil originally started as a stand-in, but the player is just nutty. But right now, there's a Molotov going to go down to the bomb, and that's going to buy the terrace so much time, but regardless, Sauce, he still does fall, and Info Hippie goes for the fire defuse and gets there with plenty of time to spare. Does not die, luckily enough, and that's going to be Dyad's first pistol on the board.
Yeah, NyQuil 3K, and, you know, we saw him in that last game that they played. You know, he's definitely a good player. Everybody in this squad's good, but the CTs played it well. They got that frag early on, made it a 5v4. They played back on the site. And yes, the T's got the bomb plant, so don't look for anything crazy as far as a buy is concerned. The current meta, nobody's probably going to force up here unless you're some sick, crazy pro team. Not saying these guys aren't pro, but I'm not saying they're crazy either. And they do buy a couple P250s. And Mazer, I'd look to see something really quick out of the gate.
Right now, what I'd be looking for is a bit of a plan strat. Just get in there, get the bomb down, and then who cares about the post plan? You got the extra money. And it does look like they are set up to do that if they so choose. And a little bit of, what was that, team damage or something spammed? Regardless, that's going to be Jolt knocked down very early to 35 HP. Shouldn't matter too much, though, as long as they can just, it looks like they're going to just go B, completely rush out. Jolt, he does have the smoke, he does have the flash, which you need at least one of each of those to get into the B bomb site successfully. But it's going to be a problem for them. Team Dyad, they're anticipating a B rush as an eco strategy. And of course, TD, he's going to be able to find the first kill. And Poison follows it up with a nice nade. And just Poison Monkey going absolutely ham from on top of the bomb train. Manages to find one more. And now it's just one player left alive. And that's going to be an easy defuse for Team Dyad. But as I mentioned, H2Flow, they accomplished their goal. They got the bomb plant.
They get the bomb plant and a lot of money, but Dyad doesn't have anybody die. So they've got enough money to make a decision here. They know that the T's are going to have AKs and potentially an op, so they have to make a decision. And this is one of those rounds where things can turn south very quickly, especially considering the fact if they hold on to these weapons against AKs and an op. I mean, this is very dangerous.
Yeah, we are seeing not as much of an upgrade from the counter-terrorist side as I would have liked, and maybe that is just a little bit of cockiness. But they're going to play those close angles, at least Poison Monkey is, who's got that from Oz on him, and just try to catch somebody out, which isn't the worst play, especially when you're dealing with anything less than a full M4 on the counter-terrorist side.
Yeah, I totally agreed with you, Mazer, and I'm in the same boat as you, probably on the same part of it. They really are just playing it slow right now on this T side, trying to make something happen. So you can kind of hang it out, and you know, nothing crazy happening right now. No big plays from either side as the T's are playing slow, and it looks like they might want to try to go towards that A site if they so choose. And what would be smart for them to do is kind of force some of those smokes out on that A side to be able to force some kind of utility displacement from them, especially considering 3 of them are on B side.
Dyad, they've been playing the 3B setup for a while now, and it's just something that I'm a little confused by, because when you rotate from B through Z to A, it's very hard to be as effective from Z connector as opposed to going the other way around, and it's going to hurt them right now as the A hit is coming in, and of course Z is going to get smoked off, hurting the rotation even more. And now the terrorists are just spilling to the bomb site. No blood exchange until Sauce. He will finally find a very nice shot on Ivo. He looks for the second, but unfortunately can't follow it up as EnfoHip will be able to get the kill there. And the bomb will go down, and it's a 4v4, and the retake is coming in. And 3 of the CTs have kits, so they're going to get a slight edge here, especially as Maui Snake actually manages to find a kill with that MP7, and NyQuil follows it up quickly after.
Now, Maui Snake doing some drive-bys with that MP7. He may be able to get another. He's going to drop that, and there it is. NyQuil gets a frag. Only Ivo dies, and that's a big boost for them. Now they can start trying to build the economy and work into this thing. The T's definitely had the gun advantage, but they didn't play quick enough, and I think it cost them right there.
In H2Flow, they're in this really weird monetary spot where you almost don't want to save, but at the same time, you can't scrape together a buy. So they are going to be going for maybe a buy down to 2K type of deal, a couple of nades, but not a lot, a couple of techs, a little bit of armor, just kind of the bare essentials, probably yet again for another plant strat.
They definitely could do that, but it looks like it's going to be a 5-stack towards that Ivy area, and we'll see if Enfo and NyQuil can stop this. They definitely have the weapons to do it. Nade comes out, takes Jolt down a little bit. And we'll see what the T's are able to do here as they are all stacked behind. Here comes that flash. They're going to come back. Here they go. They're going to come straight out of the game. Here's NyQuil. 1, 2, 3. And there it is. Enfo helps him out. And it's a quick round for them. Not hardly any utility used as well. This is where the economy builds up on this CT half. And they're in trouble, H2Flow, if they don't win this gun round and try to break this down now.
This is where H2Flow needs to reverse that momentum. It's been kind of strange following Train Week, and I'm glad this is the last map, but you've seen a lot of teams have really solid T-halves, and I really don't think it's because of their T-halves being that exceptional. I think it has a lot more to do with people not quite understanding how to play a proper counter-terrorist side. But we can see Team Dyad clearly gets that down. They understand what they're doing, and it shows right now. They have a very solid CT half going on. The last round was incredibly quick because Dyad was just set up in such a smart way. And that nade is actually from Poison Monkey. Not sure if that was just on camera, but it was something I'd never seen before, and it's just little tricks like that that are going to make the difference.
Yeah, big shout out to ESEA making this possible for the retweet, as well as Team Dyad. Really appreciate that, guys. But nonetheless, we continue on here. Team Dyad up 4-0 right now, the second gun round of this half. And we're seeing the T's play really passive towards B, not making any noise at Ivy, any noise at A main, at T-Con, nothing. They're just kind of hanging out, and I'm curious as to what they're going to try to do here with these smokes and flashes, really keeping them pinned back off of this B hit. Hey, so they're going to have to do something quickly unless they're going to do some sort of fake, and I think we may be in store for that. We'll have to wait and see what the T's are going to do.
In all the time I've been watching Train being played out, and I've been doing it a lot because this is Train Week, I've literally never seen a fake. Not even one time so far this week. And so I would be really happy to see it happen, and that would probably be just the thing to catch Team Dyad off guard. But it doesn't look like it's going to be a fake. It looks like they're going for a full execute onto the bomb site, and it's getting punished. NyQuil, he's just in the position to shut it down, and Poison Monkey as well. He's just riding the edge of that smoke. Everyone on Team Dyad expertly positioned to gain frags. Poison Monkey, unfortunately, checking the wrong angle, and he'll fall, and now it's a 1v1. Sauce and EnfoHip. EnfoHip, an exceptionally strong player, but not one of the ones known for standout fragging. He's definitely more of a kind of support, consistently get a 1 or 2 kills around type of deal, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs in this clutch. He does have a defuse kit, so he has plenty of time to clear angles slowly and methodically. He will tap the bomb, but unfortunately, neither player just has any idea where the other is, and that gives a huge advantage to Sauce right now.
Yeah, huge shot from Sauce, and I'm Sauce too, but that's a different Sauce, boys and girls. I'll tell you what, good round from him in that 1v1. He played it very slow. He didn't make noise, and that's the key thing. A lot of people in that situation would just run around and try to take the gunfight immediately, but he plays it slow, and he finds the frag, and that's the round that they needed. But the CTs are not going to be taken off too much by this, is because they've got enough money to buy here with that op. And we'll see where Ivo's going to go, and I believe he's going to go towards that Ivy area to see what he can do down that long area to look. see what he's able to find. But the T's, that slow tape ends up working out in a 1v1. We'll kind of see what Team Dyad has to counter.
Team Dyad, very strong so far, but stumbling a little bit last round. Unfortunately, when it came down to the brass tacks of it, Info Hit was not able to pull it out. And right now, they're kind of abandoning what they know works because they were a little shook by last round. You can see that as Maui Snake pushes something that he never would have pushed before now. And you have to wonder if it's going to be little mistakes like that that completely undermine this half for Dyad.
Yeah, and that's just unnecessary. I mean, you're up 4-1 on train. I understand you want to make a play, Maui, but come on, man. You know better than that. Now you really give a gun away. You know, instead of a Galil, now you got that M4 with a better, really tighter spray. You know, that Galil thing swings left and right, I'll tell you, but we'll see if they're able to capitalize on it. The CT's down in a 4v5. What I'd really like to see from H2Flow is some sort of fake towards B to maybe put Ivo back into Z just long enough for Dice to get out of A main or do something, but I don't think that's what they're going to be doing right now. It looks like they might be heading straight towards a B hit. 30 seconds left on the clock. They've got to make a decision here pretty quick.
H2Flow, they really are playing a lot of their rounds very slowly, and a lot of times because Dyad has exceptionally strong sight holds, it gets shut down, but then there's the occasional rare occurrence where they really are just able to brute force their way into a site and get results off of it. But right now, Poison Monkey, he's just overwhelmed from so many different angles, and this is looking really good for the terrorist side. As Tricks, he'll find 2 kills off the back of that Tech 9. Very impressive stuff from him.
I almost wonder at this point if you really are going to fight your way in here, you've got to make a move here. There's Dice and Jolt. They get it done. 2-4. H2Flow down 2, but that round was huge. Didn't get that op that was on the ground, though, unfortunately. That op red line that was sitting back there. But, yes, a huge round, and now the CTs have to make a decision. They're going to buy again, so their economy is just going to get completely wrecked there. And I think that there's a little bit of a miscommunication here because Rex and Syken both get MAC 10s that are known for these drive-bys on this map. And they're going to go up against some M4s and a FAMAS and a 5.7. They're running straight out of the gate.
Out of the gate they go, and that's going to be some very impressive results from them. They just brute force their way into the site and get a lot of results off the back of it, which is something that they haven't really done. They've been waiting until the last, 40 seconds of a round, and it really did catch Dyad off guard. So impressive stuff from H2Flow, knowing exactly when to mix it up. And this round lead that Dyad had is rapidly shrinking. They need to get back into it here, especially, or they're going to be forced on ecos for a while.
Definitely on the lower end of player count, but I think this is doable if they can get in here quickly. All the T's pretty much straight in a line towards T-Con. And if they can get this done here, they've got to get a quick frag or two here. They need to move in. They're taking their time. I know that they have some smokes. They might be able to smoke this thing off and force some of these T's out. Here comes Maui. He goes down. Dipole comes around the corner. He's trying to make something happen. And now it's all down to this. He's going to go ahead and stick the defuse. With the defuse kit goes down. Dice gets him. And H2Flow wins the round towards the end because the CTs took way too long to try to take site. Certainly they had the gun advantage, not the number advantage, and they weren't able to get it done. So Dyad now on an eco situation themselves. H2Flow should make this 4-4 if they can play it smart, and we almost wonder if they're going to do something fast again. I mean, it worked for them.
I'm disappointed with the way Poison Monkey played the 1v1. He knew he had already lost the round, and so instead of falling back and either saving the gun or trying to get the last pick in a kind of calculated way, he instead stews through the smoke and dies and loses everything on him, and it just doesn't work out. Now, because they're on an eco yet again, no weapons are saved, the terrorists can just brute force in a B site, and it works out. Ivo left alive in a 1v3. If anyone could do it, it'd probably be Ivo, but unfortunately, it's just the odds are against him. That Molotov expertly positioned, and Ivo will fall down, and things have been all tied up. And Dyad, they're back onto a gun round, finally, but if they don't win this one, they're in trouble.
For those of you watching, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this ESEA IM matchup. Dyad against H2Flow, both undefeated at 3-0. Dyad came out of the gate strong, 4-0 start. 3 of those defuses, but then they started to drop to that flow from H2. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But nonetheless,
had to do it, huh?
I had to do it. But Dice here is kind of holding an angle towards A main. The CTs are kind of pushed back, and a lot of fire coming in. Here comes some smokes. And this is going to be an A brute force hit. They're not going to slow it down.
H2Flow, they've brute force the past couple rounds despite slowing it down from the initial way they played, and I wonder if Dyad is starting to get a read on how these rounds are going to go. Regardless, Saucy wins out the initial aim duel, but NyQuil and Ivo quickly follow it up with 2 more, and Maui Snake as well going to make this a problem, and now it's just Trix left alive by himself in a 1v3. He finds the first frag, and excuse me, it was 1v4. Now he's left in 1v3, finding the first frag, and Poison Monkey going to go for a little bit of an Ivy boost here, and doesn't really, not fruitful, but now Trix, he's still kind of stuck out in an awkward position here. Poison Monkey posted up, ready to pretty much take him down as soon as he advances on the bomb. All 3 of the CTs are playing that exact position. Trix, though, he does grab the bomb. He's barely spotted out, and I guess he's trying to commit to this A bomb site, which is not something that I would have done if I was him, and unfortunately gets punished for it. Maui Snake going to take him down.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there a second ago, but I was going to say that there's no way he should be able to do that in that situation. You know, in a 1v3, 44 HP, just not that probable on that site. So many angles to cover. But now Dyad, they win the round. They don't break the economy of H2, but they put them in a situation where if they don't win this round, they're going to be really tight on the cash, and they probably will have to do some sort of quasi-buy or save. And again, for those of you watching, really glad to have you here. Team Dyad coming back into this and winning that round to make it 5-4, but Dice gets a frag over there towards the A site. And that's a good job from him, as that's going to put the CTs again, that early situation, down in a 4v5. And I think that Dyad really needs to take a deep breath and think about what they're doing, and what's working for them is typically these really passive plays and let them have the site and then just take it halfway before they get set in their post plants. But what they're doing is just coming straight out, and it's not working that well when they're doing it.
And it looks like H2Flow, in response to losing last round, they're going back to that slower, laid-back style that we saw in the beginning of the half. And they're just playing it slow and methodically. But one thing I noticed about this team is it seems whenever they play it slow, they hit B. And I wonder if Dyad's picking up on that cue.
I would love to see, Mazer, I'd love to see something, some sort of fake to B, where you send 2 players straight down to see what they can do. And there's a quick frag towards A, and now that's going to pull the CTs off a little bit, so maybe a fake's not necessary. Maybe just that one frag to get out and wreak some havoc is going to do enough to keep NyQuil here. This is actually going to force them almost all to rotate. Yes, Poison has went ahead and moved off there, and he's in Z connector, and so now the T's have a easy entry into the site. They should win this round.
With Dyad being 2 players short, it's almost impossible for them to properly defend a site. And Trix, he goes off with that Tech 9. Somehow he keeps consistently finding kill after kill with it. And it looks like NyQuil, he's just going to decide to save his weapon. Only 7 health remaining, though, so essentially if he gets spotted, he is finished.
I do have to give credit, 15-4 for NyQuil. I mean, doing a majority of the brute force
The man's a
fragging on this
beast.
team. You know, I mean, a lot of respect for the way he's been playing, you know, this time that I've casted him and the other times I've seen him before. And, you know, looking at these other teammates, obviously none of them are horrible. I mean, you can't really take one game as that being said. But look, 7 HP, he does something like that. I mean, that's absolutely insane. And now you put the T's, they got to rebuy 2 guns. And although they're going to win the round, this could possibly economically impact them later in this half.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem for them. Regardless of the fact that they won this round, just that little economic hit, that could be a difference. Say, if they lose this round, that could be an off in someone's hand the next round after, or something like that. Something that seems small, that seems minuscule, but can make a big difference. Right now, we see it. Instead of a rifle, it's a 5.7, or not a 5.7, excuse me, a MAC-10 in Trix's hands. And it's just little things like that that give Dyad just slightly more of an edge, especially when you're force buying. Any edge that you can possibly get, it's worth going for.
Totally agreed with you there, but right now the CT's down with a couple deagles. Looks like 2 of those and a 5.7. And the T's are going to try to make their way into here with Trix there. Does have that MAC-10. Wants to do some drive-bys on that site. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it from Ivy. I know he wants in there bad. He's also got to be really smart about the way he tries to play with that on that crossfire, because that's not something that can easily be done. So, as I say that, they both fall back off of that Ivy. They put some pressure, force NyQuil back there. And Fo was already there now. NyQuil's going to go ahead and go back to where he belongs on the A site. But the T's, again, Mazer just playing it very slow, but they've got 5 rounds on this half, and I think that's a decent half so far. If they can get this to where there's 7 or 8 rounds, I think they've got themselves a good half on their hands.
It's honestly gotten to the point, and I'm sure this isn't H2Flow's plan, but they could really lose every round for the rest of this half and still be in a position where it's winnable. It just depends, you know, on how they can perform on their CT side. Regardless of that, though, it looks like we're going to be seeing an AX coming in. And Nyquil in a good spot to defend from, only losing a couple of HP as he shuts down the first two players who enter into the site. And unfortunately, though, Ivo, he's firing over somebody's head. Jolt going to be taking him down, and now it's a 3v2. This is a good force buy for Dyad, and it's all off the back of Nyquil yet again. The man is insane.
22-4. Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
He really might hit a 30 bomb before the end of the half. He's just nutty.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue. I mean, the guy single-handedly is playing so well. I mean, Poison's got 10 frags, and everybody else is not doing necessarily horrible either. I mean, we've seen a little bit of some whiffing here and there, but nothing that's really a cause for concern. But, again, the T's playing it slow, trying to see what they're going to be able to do here. They might try to drop down into ladder, but it looks like they're going to go over towards that B site with these P250s. They do have a molly, 2 smokes, and a couple flashes from Sauce. But I'm not so sure what they're going to be able to do with those.
It again might just be another what am I looking for here? Plant strat. Poison Monkey, you wouldn't expect him to be that effective with a Mag 7 against an eco because he should just get immediately picked off if he gets 1 kill. But actually, he does manage to put it to work. Finds the first frag, then falls off. Smart stuff from him. And I really like the setup they have now. Nyquil taking long-range battles, allowing Poison Monkey to get in there, get up in their face. It's just a smart setup, though. It's probably the best way I've ever seen to play aggro against an eco round.
I definitely can't disagree with that. Really just playing up close and personal with them. And now he's got them all riled up there. They're going to have to drop down in the ladder and do something here. But look at Ivo. He's there to greet you with an off. He gets 1. He gets 2. And now he takes away his 3rd behind Electric. A huge round from Dyad. And they don't have anybody go down so that they can try to build this economy. But here comes this match pause coming in. I'm not so sure who did it. I don't know if you saw who did it, but nonetheless, I would assume it's H2Flow. Now they have to make a decision. Are they going to buy? And I think they have to. They're going to get 2,400 if they lose this round. So they need to try to make it to where they can have enough money for the next round. If they lose this, they have to be smart about it. But I'm not so sure they're going to do that.
I really like the method of taking a pause after a long stretch of ecos right before you're about to go into the gun round. It really does just clear your head. You get to decide what you're going to do and how you're going to do it when you have the biggest chance of winning a round.
Absolutely. And a big shout out to Fjorme. I shoutcast you. Really appreciate him producing this tonight, as well as Mazer casting. And honestly, Mazer, for having me on. I'm really glad to be here. We see Team Dyad here as you watch them come from open. I've watched them the past 2 times I've casted, but I will say they definitely look pretty darn strong. If they can get 10 rounds here, they're going to put themselves in a decent chance to win this if they play a good T-half.
And Dyad, they definitely have a solid T-half. Just imagine people like Nyquil just being allowed to just get unchained and, you know, run out upper B and just get 3 kills. They definitely have a really good shot at coming back into this, even if H2Flow manages to pick up another couple rounds.
Flow again, like you said, Mazer, playing it slow, and really, I'm not sure what their identity is on this T side. I don't know if they do. They're playing it very differently every time. There's no theme. Obviously, they've gotten 5 rounds already, so it's not like it's a complete travesty. But if you take a look hindsight, they don't really know what they're doing right now, at least their identity. They might know what this execute is, and I think if this could get them 6 rounds total, they're going to be in a great spot. Here they go. They're going to come out of A main and try to make this work. Flash is coming over, and they're going to go ahead and hop out.
And into the A-bomb site they go. Flashes raining over their shoulders down from the skies, and the counter-terrorist pretty much trapped behind a wall of smoke, not able to get any frags, but Maui Snake, he's going to change the pace a little bit, finding Dice, and Maui actually in a really good position to get a second frag, and Enfo following it up himself. Enfo, good to see him waking up after a little bit of an absence there, and now it's just all on Jolt, left alive in pretty much an unwinnable situation, especially as he peeks the worst possible angle, although there was no way for him to have known that.
Mazer, they buy so quick. Definitely true, but they buy so quick on these executes. And they go for it. They wait a while. They try to feel out the CTs, but they don't have any map control. They throw stuff at A. They just jump out there expecting to make it work. Now they're in a situation where this should be 9-5, and they're going to have to try to make this 6-9 if they're able to do it. They're just going to rush out A main. Here they go. One flash comes over, and that's what they have.
And it's only one flash, so plant strat's kind of out of the question. They really aren't going to be able to just brute force their way in. But Jolt, he actually manages to get a pretty lucky draw as he flanks her on the side and finds a quick 2 kills, but it looks like the bomb plant is all they're going to get somehow. And now it's just Trix left alive to defend against a 1v3. It's not out of the question for him to win this. Actually, I would say now that he's been spotted, it definitely is. He'll fall to Poison Monkey's USP, and then Fuse comes in.
Poison Monkey really needs to grab a gun here instead of this Mag 7 because he knows what he's going to be coming up against. He is able to do that.
Yeah, he knows it's a full buy next round no matter what.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. So Team Dyad 9-5 right now. H2Flow had a good run in the middle of this half, but they've been shut down by Team Dyad, notably by NyQuil. 23-3-4. Poison 13-2-7. But a lot of credit to InfoHip there, playing towards Ivy. Had a couple good shots there against that Eco Glock buy.
And finally, back into a full buy from H2Flow. Last round of the half, of course, they're going to buy as much as they can, and that does leave them a little light on utility, but we do see Dice picking up the op. He's been kind of fragging okay for his team, all things considered. So just having him wherever he feels most comfortable, whether that's an AWP or rifle, is just always a good thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I think it's really important to take that into consideration. But right now, Ivo pushing into A main. Curious to see why he is doing this. There's no reason for him to be pushing into A main, but he's going to get a lot of info from this. And if they turn around and try to go to A main, he's going to be able to sniff this out. I'm not so sure he's going to be able to know unless he pushes out further. And he's been punished before by doing something like that, so maybe he's not going to do it. H2Flow all towards his B side, Mazer. And yeah, I think that they really have to make a decision here. I think right now would be the great time to run a fake. They haven't run a fake this entire half. They need to run some sort of B fake and hit the other site. Now, in this situation, if they did, Ivo's going to shut you down really quick, or at least get the info. But right now, I think he's going to be able to tell his teammate Info, hey, I don't think they're coming to A. I'm in A main. There's nothing. I don't hear any noise. It's 35 seconds. And I'd look to see him rotate here very quick.
The one thing where I understand why Info is holding that position is just because an Ivy play towards B is still very likely. But right now, Maui, he's going to get that first contact, and now the information is out there. Everyone knows it's B. And Maui, he's just playing way too close. Excuse me, that was Poison's sake, playing way too close to upper B, and he'll get punished for it. Now it's a 3v3 with only less than 10 seconds on the clock. The bomb does go down, and that's going to force things, you know, the ball's in the counter-terrorist court now. Let's see what they can do with it.
They do have the HP and the man advantage right now. Now it's down to a 2v2. Dice gets one, but NyQuil's still alive with Ivo. They've got potential to make this work, but they have to move. Ivo gets a frag, and now it's down to Dice, LOL, to make it happen here. He gets a frag.
How does Dice get that frag?
I don't know how he gets it, but now it's down to NyQuil, and NyQuil has to make a move. He has a kit.
NyQuil, the god.
He doesn't have a smoke here. He's just going to have to stick this and make somebody peeks this.
Yeah, he knows
it's over. He does not have it. No
he
way.
knows. And that's going to end the half 9-6. Dyad in the lead. But one thing I would kind of like to just touch on really fast, we keep talking about fakes. I'm actually kind of wondering if no one knows how to run a fake on T-side train, because I haven't seen a single one. Hopefully Dyad can pleasantly surprise me, but it's been disappointing watching. I've casted pretty much everything from Open through Premiere in the past couple weeks, and I haven't seen a single fake on train.
I think it's important to do maybe once or twice a half if you've established a site take. The thing
especially if you're losing, like
Right.
H2Flow was, as just a mix-up, you know, just barely squeak out another round. It'd be something, you know.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. H2Flow coming out of this with 6 rounds on the T side. They switch to the CT side. Let's get some hype in the chat, boys and girls. Here comes the T's, and it looks like they're stacking themselves very quietly back just above ladder. I'm not so sure what they're thinking, and I don't think that they know either, because the CTs of H2Flow have pushed through Ivy. No, they're not pushing out, and I think the rotate may be called soon. But if they all come running out of here and nobody dies, the T's might be able to win this round. Here comes the smoke. Maui's going to peek before it. He's going to come out and start spraying with this Glock to try to get out.
He does manage to exit out, but oh man, this is an excellent fake, unfortunately, and finally we've seen a fake on train. Unfortunately though, Jolt, he's going to be sitting behind, and he'll get that information, so the rotation is coming in, but Enfo puts a stop to it with a Molotov just in time, and that's going to guarantee them at least a plant, and thank the Lord I've seen a fake on train. It's making me so happy. It's like Christmas come early.
Well, if Christmas has come this early, They surely delivered. They did run a fake, but can H2Flow retake this? Surely not. In a 3v5, they're going to have to come up absolutely huge for them to be able to do this. Ivo gets 2 and says no, and it's down to Dice in a 1v5. No way he's going to be able to do this. He gets 1, and he goes down. So Dyad, a strong round. Really good job for them to set up that push. And, you know, H2Flow, a good play towards Ivy to get that information. We'll see that pause come in. Oh, somebody disconnected, so it looks like that pause coming out. It was Poison disconnecting, but H2Flow, a good job at Ivy. I do have to give them credit for that. They push up and get the info, but they don't expect the frags from behind. And I think that Dyad, maybe it wasn't a fake. Maybe they realized, okay, look, we got 2 frags behind us. Those are A players. There's probably 1 or 2 on B. We can probably push in and make something happen since they already established a site hit with that smoke from B lower, and I think that might have been the tall tale sign.
What an exceptional pistol round from Team Dyad. I honestly can't get over how they're the first team I've seen to run a fake. It's making me so happy. And the fake, completely well executed. Exactly what they should have done. It worked out. They almost were thwarted by the fact that there was Jolt on their flank, but they stopped it with a Molotov, which they bought on pistol, anticipating that situation. It's just so smart. It's probably the smartest round I've seen all week, and I'm really happy about it. I'm not going to stop gushing about it.
He's not going to stop gushing about it, boys and girls. He's not going to stop. So we're back into this now. Team Dyad in a situation where they want to close this out now. They want to keep up this team momentum. They win the T half, or excuse me, the CT half 9-6, which I think honestly is pretty good for H2Flow for their T side. But right now, again, H2Flow making an aggressive CT play. They've got everybody trying to get towards B and up through those ladders to get some information. And I think now they know.
And that information play is going to be pretty huge. And now, with the way the CTs are just stacked up, it's going to be really awkward for Dyad to go essentially anywhere but Ivy. And if they can read this and go Ivy to B, I would be so incredibly happy. Yet again, that'd be God tier IGLing, but it looks like it's not meant to be. They still might be able to squeak something out if they go through A, as long as they're really careful about avoiding that ladder area.
Yeah, they're going to run out through A main. They're going to get themselves out onto the site.
Oh, this is such a weird play, and it's working. I'm so confused.
Yeah, they're out. They are so confused right now. They have no idea what's happening. But look, Jolt and Seekin, they're about to pop out and say hello. Are they going to be able to make something happen here? Here's 4 of them. They're down here in this ladder room. Info Ship's having a blast right here with this M45 finding 2.
This strategy is going much worse than it really should have. They haven't managed to find a single kill, and they leave Dice alone in a 1v5. They really should have been able to spill out of ladder all at once and at least get 2 frags. But unfortunately, it was just a complete misplay of that situation, and the fact that they just didn't hit shots. It's a shame, but it happens. And that's going to allow Dyad to squeak ahead with another round while Dice just looks for exit frags, but it doesn't even look like he's going to get one.
Oh, no, he's not, and that's going to put the money in a decent position here for Team Dyad, because they are in a position to where they could buy AKs for the people that don't, and they're up 11-6. This should be 12-6, and H2Flow is going to have to claw their way back into this because they can't buy right here. They just don't have enough. They're going to have to P250 and maybe a smoke or something.
Maybe a smoke. Just to keep away that rush, because we've seen so many times on eco rounds in the first half where H2Flow would be on eco and they just rush into a site and they'd win. And so, you know, that just any way to stop the rush would be nice. Unfortunately, we're not going to see it coming out here, but it's not like they're going to win the round anyway. Let's be honest with each other. So hopefully they can just prevent the T's from getting a plant, something like that, something along those lines.
Ivo here coming out. Look at this. Sykin gets a frag. That's good for him. He's got to be happy about that. We'll see if he's able to kind of recover from this, as he really wants to make this work for them. Info gets a frag. He's kind of just playing out here and seeing what they're trying to do.
And I do like slower plays like this, especially when you're going against an eco, because teams are often just so eager to charge into a bomb site on ecos and counter-terrorist chase, charge into just areas where they don't belong, areas that they should be holding instead of pushing. And so feeling stuff out, definitely a smart way to go, and it looks like they felt it out and they've decided that A is where they want to be, and that's, again, as smart as you can possibly be. Only one player there, and that player is so incredibly wounded. Now the rotation is coming in, but plenty of time for the terrorists to get to really good spots for the post plant.
Yeah, they're in a great spot here. They get the bomb down. They planted it for ladder. It'd be where somebody should be right now, but I guess they've got control of the other parts of the site. They don't feel like it's necessary for them to have to do that. I'm not so sure what the CTs are going to attempt here. They're going to have to make some move here. Syken tries to peek. He goes down. Poison's going to peek in with that M45, and so did Info. It's a double M45 hit. And there's Dyad, 12-6 like we expected. H2Flow needs to win this round, but they're not going to reset the economy of Team Dyad. And this is what's so frustrating on the T side here on this map, because they didn't have hardly anybody die. The CTs haven't made a lot of rebuys occur. I mean, the Ts have only lost 2 people in the last 3 rounds. That's huge for them. And now they're in a situation where they get to control their own destiny on train on T side. We'll have to see if H2Flow can stop them, but they're going to have to do something really immaculate here.
It wouldn't be the first time we've seen something really immaculate. I mean, just look at the amount of kills Nyquil has. But Nyquil is going to be the first man who drops down on the terror side for this for this round, excuse me, which could be an issue going into the round without their star player, but it's still definitely winnable. Dyad just has to play this one carefully. They shouldn't be pushing dumb angles without any information. They need to play this in a smart way, and so far Ivo, he does manage to tag Jolt down really far, and that nade unfortunately not going to be able to finish him off, taking him to only 33 health. But right now, Dyad has a pretty good shot at being able to just brute force their way in any site they want, just because of the HP on some of the counter-terrorists.
Yeah, but I don't know if they know that, Mazer, and I think that's kind of the problem here. They're not so sure about what's going to be happening here. They've got to counter with some of these pieces of utility. They've got some fire to hold some of these people back from Team Dyad, but Team Dyad still clawing to try to get into this A site. Maui's going to fall off of Ivy, as you can see right there. He is running back towards A main. It looks like they're going to go ahead and set up some smokes here. Poison is going to throw some smokes, and he's going to flash himself down into T-Con, while Dice gets another frag with that op. That's 2 for him. And the T's are in a deep, deep situation. They've got to get in here and plant.
They need a bomb plan on the board. Enfo, Hip, and now Snakeo both kind of making it a little bit less dire, and they've turned it into an even 2v2, which is absolutely huge. Unfortunately, though, it's just going to be a whiff spray that allows Sauce to take down Maui. Now with only 9 seconds left on the board, Poison has to go huge or go home, and it looks like he's just chosen to go home. He walks around the corner peeking completely incorrectly, and Sauce going to take him down. H2Flow being able to squeak out another round, but unfortunately for them, Dyad, they still have plenty of money to buy.
Yeah, H2Flow, really, they need to also win this round, but they've got a P90, boys. They got a P90, boys and girls. And the rest of M4s, it looks like, and H2Flow's Dice did have that off that last round, but he's going to have to just go with that 5-7. So the T's in a situation where they got to make a decision. They have to do something. If they can win this round 13-7, they're going to force an eco out of H2Flow, and that could very well be the game if they can do it. But let's not make an assumption really quick here, because we don't know what's going to happen, boys.
And Dyad playing it slow, laid back, which again I like. They know they're up against a force buy, and they know that force buys are much more likely to push than full buys. And so they're just playing it laid back, putting a little bit of pressure on Ivy, and that's just going to make the counter-terrorists uneasy, you know, shift in their seats a little bit, and that's what you want. The antsier they are, the more likely they are to make a mistake.
Yeah, mistakes will be made at some point in this game, but the CTs, they've got 4 on A. That's H2Flow. They're pretty much lined up from Ivy into ladder. They're all lined up either on the train or something. They're setting up a very strong defense over here on this A site, but I'm not so sure that's what's coming, boys and girls, because it's all down to Tricks Measure here. He's here close with his P90. If he had the right gun, he'd be able to do it, but no, it's not going to happen. Info takes him out. And now the CTs are left dazed and confused.
And now it's all to the CTs to get into this bomb site, force their way in, and win this retake situation. And unfortunately, it's just not very likely, especially with only 2 defuse kits. If those players get picked off early on, things are going to look up very dire for H2Flow. But so far, they're actually winning this scenario. Poison Monkey trying to even things out, but it doesn't work out. He's the last man alive, and Sauce playing this really nice off angle, and it's just going to allow H2Flow to pick up one more round by the skin of their teeth.
H2Flow coming out of that huge, especially considering the setup they had on that A site. The T's not able to get really good post-plant positions, and now they're in a bad situation here economically. They've got a couple deagles here. I would assume they're going to do something really quickly here, because they're going to get $2,400 if they lose this round, they'd love to get the bomb plant to get them even more. They need to try to stabilize their economy, because the CT's economy is pretty frail at the moment.
It's just one round to really break them, and so far Ivo, he wants this to be that round. He takes 2 headshots, Syken and Jolt both falling off, and now it's a 5-on-4 as Dice is able to barely trade that out, but Ivo, he has something to say about that. Ivo looking for the ace this round as he takes down the first 3 players and is not planning on stopping, but NyQuil, he's in a really good spot to shut down Tricks as long as he plays his cards right, but unfortunately they waste a little bit of utility. They're not too big of a thing, but could end up costing them later on. And now the last player, Poison Monkey, he's just barely bringing the bomb into the A site, and that's going to be a free, easy plant for them. Dyad, at the very least, getting this bomb plant, and they're just so close to resetting the economy of the CTs, and that would just be so incredible if they could actually pull that off in this round.
Yeah, Poison with that Deagle's the only one. He's going to go down. Trix gets in there and gives him some tricks, boys and girls. Trix is going to have to hold this with Sauce. Can they get out there and make it work here? NyQuil gets one, and he wants more than that. Ivo actually has to switch to his Deagle with 1 bullet and gets it done. The T's are able to get it done, and Ivo gets a 4K, a huge round for them, and they just reset him. Team Dyad's in a great position to at least get to 15, depending on what H2Flow does and the setup they do. But that was a monstrous round for Ivo. 4 frags, that puts him right now 16 and 14. He started this off very slow. NyQuil, he's had the worst T side of them all, but he's 28 and 6.
And Dyad right now, they're playing the ultimate laid-back strat, and they know they're against the full eco, and I've mentioned that a lot. They know they're against the full eco, so the ultimate laid-back strat is just, again, the smartest possible option. And so many of the players, I really don't like the way the counter-terrorist bought, because it's not a buy that's going to win you rounds. It's just a money sink. And so unless they can do something absolutely nutty here, which, unfortunately, the way H2Flow wins rounds isn't by being incredibly nutty, it's just by being consistent. And so relying on themselves to do something nutty right now is not something that I would put too much stock in for them.
This looks like it's going to be a flat-out A execute. They're going to smoke, double smoke, actually, into the same area. I don't know what they're thinking. They want to get this smoke out now. Here they go. They're going to push themselves into here. H2Flows. Nice. Gets another one. And now
and it's just
all
Dyad.
the CTs are in a situation where they're
It's just the
fired
Dyad
off.
show.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It's going to be a 14-8 score line because these CTs are going to have to spread out and make something happen.
No kits.
Yep,
So little time.
No kits. They do.
No
they have
utility.
the armor. They have the armor, but the question is, do you want to waste it right now?
Yeah, that's also a thing you have to be thinking about if you're them. We can save this armor for the next round, or we can use it right now and almost certainly just die because we're in very bad retake positions, and we have no utility and we have no diffuse kits. And so it looks like they're just trying to play for exits, which I can kind of respect, but Enfohip shuts them both down anyway. And it's just unfortunate from a team that looks so solid, and also unfortunate that Ivo, a jumping shot like that, will hit in this game. But we'll talk about that later.
Jumping AKs, boys. That's the new meta. Okay, I'm sorry. You heard it here first. It's not the new meta, confirmed. But, oh, wow. Team Dyad, 14-8. They've got themselves in a great spot here. I mean, there's 3 FAMASas on H2Flow. They've got themselves on the ropes. They're going to have to come up big. And I wonder if they're going to go to some sort of, like, aggression that they did on those pistol rounds, and then that next round that they got, the eco round that they did. I'm not so sure that's what they're going to do.
And they bought so much armor last round and so many P250s that 3 of their players are on FAMASas, and they have very little utility across the board. And it's just going to hurt them. It's going to do nothing but hurt them this round.
Those 3 FAMASas have got a tall task at hand. 25 bullets in a dream. They're going to have to be very, very cognizant of that, as it looks like 4 terrorists, including NyQuil, are waiting to come in, and there's Maui gets the first one. That's going to open it up. The T's are going to get full control of the side. This should be 15-8 if the T's can play it smart.
It's another situation where the terrorists have time to put themselves in really good post-plant positions, and H2Flow is all rotating through Z. I was going to say with one exception, but Syken, he chooses to come back and go through Z. And that's just a terrible position to retake from, especially if you're committing all of your resources to it. And so this is really Dyad's round to lose. They have to throw it away, essentially, for H2Flow to have a chance of getting back into it. And Maui Snake and NyQuil both have no intentions of letting that happen. Maui unfortunately falls, but it's no big deal in the end, as NyQuil and Poison both pick up the slack. And Dyad are finally on match point, and H2Flow is just crumbling in the second half. They looked really solid in the beginning, but Can't handle it anymore, I guess. Too much pressure.
Too much pressure. Can't handle it anymore. I don't know about that. It's not over until we say so, right? We say so. But the CTs have got 4.57s in that CZ, and they want to make something happen with this up close. They need to get up close angles on these Ts, but the T's playing it back because they know how desperate H2Flow is to win this. And look at this. They've got tricks, and I believe that's Dice. Yes, they're pushed up just outside of B upper, just kind of waiting and trying to listen for sound. Nothing's been given yet. Team Dyad playing this slow. I think this is the right play, and I think they're going to put themselves in a great spot to win this.
This really could be Dyad's round, especially just considering how weak H2Flow are, economically speaking, and in equipment speaking. But they're playing that ladder stack strat, which is something that I said in the past really should have worked, and it has good potential to work against Syken, making something happen with it, finding the first CZ kill, but unfortunately Poison jumps down ladder and trades him out. He actually finds a second one too from Sauce, and now it's Tricks in the 1v4 looking to flush it out. He finds the first frag, but will immediately eat it to the face in the second. And that was an interesting match for sure, but in the end, Dyad cinches it out. I want to thank Awesome Sauce for joining me, and I shoutcast you for producing this match. But I do have something that I wanted to throw in at the end of the stream that's really important to me. I would appreciate if everyone watching the stream right now just went to my Twitter and looked at the pinned tweet. I know that sounds like a plug, but someone who I've worked with in this industry for a very long time and I respect very much, and who's helped me out very much, is asking the community for something, and I feel like we should all be responding to that. So I would appreciate if you all just took a look. Thank you so much, and have a great night.